Hello everyone, thanks for joining me for another video. It's my first one of 2020, well my first non-Christmas one of 2020. I did my flip through about a week ago. I've had a little bit of time to recuperate after doing December daily, and I am back. 2020 is well underway, so I need to get myself a new junk journal put together so I can do some more journal with me's. So this is what I'm showing you today. This video is just really me putting pages together, and I'm going to take you through the process of actually making the journal. It's Saturday today, so the video is me hopping between the kids and dinner and all the rest of it, so I only managed to get some pages put together, but I'm going to work on it a bit more tonight, so I should be coming back pretty soon with another video, which should be sewing frills and pockets and things into the actual pages. So stay tuned for that, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one as well. So for this one, as I say, it's just going to be me doing the bare bones of the journal. So I've done a 2.5 inch spine. This is just a bit of cardstock, so I measured 2.5 inches and I've just folded it over a couple of times to make it a bit stronger, and I'm going to use some fabric tape just to hold it together. This will be the piece that the signatures are sewn onto, and I am going to use a sewing machine to sew the signatures on. Somebody commented on one of my December daily videos and asked if I could show you how I do that, so I'm going to do that for this journal because I do find that's the easiest way to put a journal together. There are plenty of different ways to do it, and I'm going to explore all the different ways. So for this one, it will be sewn in with the machine. The signatures, I'm going to do 3 signatures for this, and I am literally, I mean I'm using the ruler here, but I am guessing, I'm eyeballing it thinking, yeah, that looks about right. It takes me a few goes to decide that I'm happy with the markings, and they are rough estimates. As I say, they're not, you know, especially when you're doing the sewing machine, it's really difficult to actually get, you know, a good, it just gives me some of an idea of where to place the signatures. So that's what I'm doing here. The book board that I've got here is the Christmas Postman book. I've actually had this cut up like this for a few years, and I just thought I'd use it for this one because I've got it lying around. This file folder I actually took from my office because I don't need it at work anymore, so I brought it home and I'm just storing all my bits of paper in. So my tea-dye paper I've got sectioned off for squared, lined, plain, and then I've got some other bits in here as well, like some just old music sheets and what have you, and I shall just fill this up as I find bits. So I'm pulling out papers to start putting my signatures together. So I hope 2020 is going well for you all so far. I have had a week just to chill and get back into the natural run of things, so apologies, there's been a bit of a delay getting a video to you. I won't leave it as long again to get a video out. I just thought I'd recoup a little bit and just recover from doing December daily. So yeah, I've left it a little while. I had to kind of get back into the, you know, found my mojo again, if you like, for junk journaling. And I definitely have found it. I found the fabric that you saw at the beginning of the video. I went into town yesterday and I found this in John Lewis. It's actually on sale, and I was drawn to it. I like the sort of freshness of it, the clean looking background with the florals, and it just inspired me for my front cover. This cookery book, I'm going to use an image. I'm just trying to find it here. These are also bits that I've pulled out to add in as pages. And this image here I love, with all the cakes on it, so I want that in my journal. I've got this doily which I'm going to include, and I've actually tea dyed some pages with dyes. So I've used this Dylon emerald green to achieve this sort of bluey green paper, so I should be using that. I do actually have some pink and purple paper as well, which I used distress inks to dye. And I'll show you how I use this that I've just kind of broken apart out of an Edith Holden book, and here's just a few other bits. The British birds and the things to make these smaller books, I'm looking through for the images I want. I'm literally setting the books aside next to me open on the pages that I want to use. But these ones I do actually decide as I'm putting the signatures together to make journaling cards and pockets and things out of instead of putting them in the book as sort of fold out pages. I don't find that I use the smaller pages when I'm actually doing journaling, so it's pretty silly. This book I found in the shop and it says I hate Lindsay, Lindsay is fat. It made me laugh because that's obviously my name. Yeah, and then I've got some flowers. I love botany or anything like that. That just makes me happy. So again, I'm just searching through for some images to use that I'm going to eventually put into the book. If you have any ideas of journals that you'd like to see, I like to do a theme, so if you have any theme ideas I'd be interested to know. I do have one theme journal that's going to come up, but I need to collect some more bits for it. I've started and I'm very excited because the bits that are coming together just look awesome, so I'm excited to share that all with you. I'm excited to do it and just put it together, so I'll obviously share it as I'm doing it. But if you have any other themes, I do have a few in mind, a few others in mind, which I might do a few journal collections. I'd like to ultimately sell journals, if that's something any of you would be interested in. I do actually have one journal here that I could sell now, but I don't have, it's just the one, so it'd just be like a one-off. So I'd like to maybe put some collections together and do some journals, you know, within a theme, if you like. And I have one specific one in mind for the summer, which I'd be very, very happy to do. But more information will come on that later on, obviously as I manage to get bits and things together. So again, I'm just putting out pages, and I have some of these old magazine cuttings, and I'm using this piece of just scrap regular copy paper, and I'm measuring the size so I can fold the edges in. I don't always cut bits off if there's quite a bit, so I might create that. I might sew that down the top and the bottom and make it into a pocket. I might just leave it as a flap for extra journaling space or decorating space. So then now I know I'm folding it in half, which is half A4 size with that bit folded over. And I will trim down the top and the bottom. Again, I don't always, it depends how big it is. There's a botanical image from one of those books which is slightly taller, but not that much taller, so I haven't bothered tearing that down. But this one's quite considerably bigger than, you know, the width of an A4 sheet, so I will tear this one down. And the music sheets as well, the larger ones. So that's what I'm doing here. And I like with journaling when some of the pages are different sizes, they're not all perfect because they're not supposed to be. That is the idea of junk journaling. They're all just bits and pieces, so they're not going to be perfect. And as I said, this is just me really putting the pages together, my process of getting pages and bits to put in with a journal. I don't tend to use a great deal of different pages, mainly because I don't really have that much of a variety. A lot of my pages come from books, so like you see here, this little piece, I'll add it in because that might be nice for a photo or something later on. But I find that if I put too much into the journal to start with, then it gives me less creative freedom when I come to use the journal. If I was going to sell a journal, I would fill it with pockets and tucks and all the rest of it. But for my personal journal, I don't really like that. And as I say, that is because I like to have creative freedom when I come to actually do my journaling. So I don't add in a great deal of pages that are different. And I like to keep it quite neutral toned as well, so I can decorate as I go along. Like I say, for this one, when it comes to a theme journal, all that goes out the window. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing the centre pages. I've pulled them out of the book and I am using them as they are, but to strengthen them where I've torn them out of the book, I'm using this masking tape, and I like the masking tape as opposed to washi tape for this sort of thing because it is neutral and it doesn't really stand out. It's just a blank canvas, so I'm using that just to strengthen the join here. So when it comes to being sewn in, the masking tape will give it a bit of structure. Oh, I've got my iPad in front of me and I'm watching some bits on YouTube just while I'm doing this. So you might see my hand go off screen every now and then while I'm pausing it. One of the kids might be shouting me, so I have to pause it so I can hear them. So this recipe book I absolutely love, and I noticed that its page is upside down. I'd not seen that before. I was going through it thinking, hang on. But I love this book. It's typewritten and it's just recipes that have been typed up, and it just looks really nice. So I'm kind of going through looking for a recipe that resonates with me, and I found this leek and potato soup because that sounded yummy. I had a roast chicken in the oven cooking at the time, so I was feeling the hearty food. So I've just folded that in half. I love the bits at where I've torn it out. I like those sort of edges on it. I think that just adds to the character of the journal. It kind of shows that it is torn out of a book, so I leave those on. Obviously you can tear those off if that would annoy you. I mean, it might annoy me when I come to actually using this page and I might tear the bits off, but for now I'm going to leave it in there so the option's open should I want it. I got this page here from I ordered something. There's a lady on YouTube, she's Oak House Journals, and she sent me some bits when I ordered some lace and things from her. She sent me some extra little bits, and this page is one of those that she sent me, so I had to include one of those pieces in my personal journal, and it's just going to slot in here quite nicely. I do need to tea dye some more pages, so if you'd like to see tea dyeing, I will happily share that with you. It's a bit of a process, so I'd have to obviously set it all up and do it all in the kitchen, so it might not be the best video I've ever done. I'll try my best to show you my tea dyeing process if that's something you'd like to see, and I can also show you the dyeing process with the inks and the dye, as well as just tea or coffee. That might be interesting for you to see. I'd also like to have a go at eco dyeing. I've never done that before, so that's something that I'll play around with, and I will come back to you on. If it works out well, chocolate. If it works out well, I shall share that with you as well. I said before in one of my Christmas journals, I do like to work with the theme, and it really gives me that sort of leg to start from. You know, that if I don't know what else to do, if I don't know what to journal about, I can at least just start with my theme. So this theme for this journal, I'm keeping it quite neutral, quite plain. I'm going with a lot of florals because I like flowers, I like florals, I like botanicals, I love like eucalyptus and sage, and I like all of that. So I'm kind of going with a bit of a neutral theme, and I will work, this journal for me will be more about empowerment, and it will be about just positivity, strength, and you know, be my sort of empowerment journal. That's what I'm kind of going with. I don't, as I said before, I don't do junk journaling, as a rule. I do regular journaling, whereby I'm just writing a notebook, thoughts and feelings. This book for me I'm going to use as empowerment, so I'm going to use it to document all the things that have just made me feel great. So whether it's something I've done with the children, or an achievement maybe that they have made which makes me feel good because, you know, obviously it made me proud, or I will be moving this year. I've gone through a bit of a difficult situation, so I will document all the achievements that I will make as I work my way out of that situation. So that's what I shall use this journal for. So I wanted to make it really light. I wanted to throw the colour in every now and then because I do like a bit of colour. So I just wanted to make it light and fresh, and just something that just inspires me to want to use it. Like these images here, I just love these images. Again, it's not really a botanical theme, it's just it makes me happy theme. Let's put it there. And I will add in things as I go along to add in the colours and the design and things, and I will do that more with pockets and lace and journaling cards. This is one of those cards I'm looking at thinking, I like this image, I don't want to just have a half page, like one of those sort of pages folded in half in the middle of a journal, because sometimes when you've got a really nice image on one page, you lose a lot of the image by folding it in half, and it's sort of, for me, it's a bit of a waste, and then you're going to cover it up by sticking something on it, so I don't always want to do that. This hedgehog one I was originally going to put in. I've decided here, I'm kind of demonstrating that I'm going to use it as a folder and create a tip in with that. So I've just folded it in half, I will sew down either side, and that will be a pocket. And it can be a floating pocket, it can be a tip in. So one of those fold down pages, I will probably just slot it in one of those to use at a later date. I may even add a pocket in at the back of the journal, I don't know yet. The textured paper that you saw at the beginning, you can just see off screen, on the left hand side of the screen there, that textured wallpaper sample. Excuse me, is going to be the inside and the backside covers. So when I folded the fabric round, it will be that piece that kind of covers everything up, makes it look pretty. So I don't know if I want to cover any of that up with a pocket, because it's just such a nice piece of wallpaper. And that's a good tip as well for different papers, different textures. And you can do a lot with that wallpaper. You can get some gilding, and you can rub some gilding along it to highlight the texture and things in it. So there's a lot you can do with the wallpaper. I like it just as it is. This is my favourite piece. I do have other pieces, but because this journal is going to be for me, I wanted this piece to be in my journal. And I ordered these sample wallpapers from John Lewis. I did pay for them. I think they're like £1 a sample or something like that. And they're varied, the different samples. I think you can get free wallpaper samples. I mean, I've been to like my local B&Q, and they don't have this sort of textured wallpaper on offer as a sample, so I paid for it from John Lewis, and I got a few different ones, and like I said, this is my favourite, so I should be ordering some more. This image here, this sort of centre image, I really like the whole image across. I'm doing the same thing again with the masking tape, but I'm not doing the masking tape front and back. I'm doing the masking tape just on the back, and then just folding it over the top just to give it a little bit extra strength. But I want to preserve that image because I really like it, and that will go in the centre of the signature, so I will still, when the journal's complete, I'll still be able to see that full image. So I'm folding it over, and I notice in the centre it is sticky. Where the tape is behind, because where it's torn out, it's obviously not meeting perfectly. And I do use my stamping powder bag tool thing that I've got, which I will show you in just a little while, because I did the same thing again with another piece, and then you'll see it on camera me doing that. So again, just a little tip: if you're using masking tape or washi tape and you're using it on just one side to get rid of the sticky, you can use some, I guess you could use some cornstarch if that's the sort of thing you have lying around. I just happen to have this little bag with powder in, which is actually used for stamping and embossing. I've just pulled out another page from that same book, and it just has like a dessert recipe on it with a nice image, and it just goes well with these little selection of cakes. I wanted to preserve that image as well, so I didn't want to fold it in half or create a pocket with it. I wanted the full image, and I won't cover this one up when I come to use the journal. I should just leave it as is, and or use the other side of it probably for sticking something on or whatever. You can't preempt these things because I don't know what I'm going to be journaling about and what I'm going to need to stick in. So that's why I find it really difficult to add pockets and bits in while I'm creating the journal. Obviously it's the easiest time to do it, but that's when I do a lot of faux stitching. So I'll stitch around a piece, but then I glue it so it looks like it's sewn onto the page, but it's not. And obviously if you have that facility, that's, in my opinion, the best way to go forward. So here I am noticing the sticky, and now I'm fishing around for my little bag. And I shall do the powdering just to make it not sticky. So I hope this is not boring. watching me just putting pages and things together. It's a very real part of the process, so I wanted to kind of show you everything that I do. I've seen some videos before when I was first starting out with junk journaling, where people would kind of go, I'm going to get some pages together, and then the camera cuts and it comes back and they've got all their pages, and I think, oh okay, so what is it I need to get? What do I need to pull out? What do I need to get hold of to be able to do all that? So here's some more pages. This is my little pile. I've just found these, the purple and the pink. It's actually red. The pink paper here, I actually use Festive Berries Distress ink, which is a really red ink, but it came out pink, so which is fine for this. And the purple is Seedless Preserves. I'm pretty confident it's Seedless Preserves. Tim Holtz Distress inks. Yeah, so again, it's a real big part of the process. Just seeing where the pages come from, the thought process, how I've jumbled things about. I've kind of toyed with the idea. These pages, this is some natural handmade paper that I picked up in Paper Chase. The papers, the card that you can see underneath that is from the Planner Society subscription box. I had that in like 2017, so these are mega old. I've just had them lying around, not quite know what to do with them. So I go through these when I'm making journals. I just try and use up the odd piece here and there, because they're double-sided as well, which is good. I find it really stressful because I like the image on one side and I don't like the image on the other side. But that's just me being difficult. So as I say, I'm going to go through these, and it's just a random one that I've pulled out of a drawer, and I've just had lying around for a little while. So I like it like that one, that rose one with the pineapples on the back. I love the roses, it's such a nice image. I don't love the pineapples, so I haven't used it for anything yet. But yeah, a lot of these papers are just nice papers, but they're not quite fitting. Like, I love this one. If you look closer at it, it's almost like it's embroidered. The image is embroidered, which I really like, but as I said, I wanted to keep it light and airy. These ones I liked. I originally pulled these out to use it in my journal as well. I just didn't want anything that dark. I wanted, as I said, to keep it light, to keep it fresh, keep it happy. I can make pages darker if I need to later on, but for this I just wanted to have that sort of, that vibe going on. I like New Year, I like it to be clean and just light and fresh. This Christmas for me is quite heavy with the reds and the golds, and it's very rich and sparkly, so I just strip all that back in January and just take a breather away from it before I kind of throw myself into another theme, which the next thing will be quite a heavy one again, but I'm really excited to do it. This piece here is some vellum, it's got some butterflies on it, again, Planner Society. The vellum's quite handy to have if you've got some images and you just want to tone the images down maybe, or you want to just create a pocket but you still want to be able to see an image maybe that you've got on a journaling card, like a photograph, but you don't want it to be so obvious perhaps. I don't know, there's lots of things you can do with it, so I've added this vellum in there. And I'll use it when it comes to it. This card is the one that I use. These two I do discard. I think no, they're too dark, too much going on. Maybe for like an autumnal journal they would be lovely, but for this one they're not quite what I'm going for. This one I like because I like the background on the other side as well, the sort of pinky purpley tartan. So I do add that one in. I'm holding it against the fabric, and that's when I'm deciding that's too dark. This one's still fairly dark, but I'm okay with it. And I'm going to put it inside a signature, so it's not going to sit against the cover. Like as soon as you open it, you're not going to see that. And I'm just going to have a shuffle around with the pages to make sure I'm happy with where everything sits. I'll have another shuffle around before the end, don't worry, because I'm kind of putting things in as I'm going along. But right at the end I'll have to make sure that I'm 100% happy with the placement of everything. I don't want two small pages together or two really busy pattern pages together. I want it to be really nice and cohesive. I want it to flow, so if I've got something quite busy I want to put a neutral something in front of it so it balances it nicely. These pages I've had to cut down. This was an exercise book of my son's that he didn't use all of, so when he brought his books home from school at the end of the year, I took out all the blank pages that I could, and so I've got some lined paper where the lines are going the right way. I know some people that really drives you crazy when the lines are down because it's like a big A4 sheet folded in half. So it's a good way to get the lines so they go across, to get some exercise books, and then just obviously tear them down to size. So I'm pretty happy with the pages that I've got in my signatures, and I'm going to kind of give you a quick view on how I will actually assemble my junk journal. I did count my pages within each signature, and I've gone for 10 in each, not including the smaller pages. So the smaller sort of pages that are folded in half, the littler sheets, they're not included when I do my count, so it's 10 full-size pages. The vellum and the cardstock, these images are all counted in that. It's only the smaller bits that are not. And I am going to assemble this one a little bit differently to what I've done before. You've only ever seen my Christmas journal, so it's really difficult to kind of say it's not something I'm used to doing, because you've not seen anything like this that I've done before. So this is a different for me, so hopefully it will work out okay. If it doesn't, we'll have to play it by ear. If it doesn't work out okay, then that's fine, I should just fix it. So the doily, I was originally just going to place around a signature, and then I decided that actually I'm going to use it in the background. So, excuse me, the spine piece, I'm going to kind of build it up in 3 layers. So I'm going to have the spine piece, a sheet of A4, which will kind of be like my anchor, to anchor the signatures into the book, and then the doily will go on top of it, and then the signatures will be sewn. So the doily will be held in by sewing the signatures in, and then it will be loose on either side. I think that will look really nice, and it will give it just a little bit of, you know, something pretty. But I'm not going to do that in this video because I need to add in all the lace and make some pockets and do all the fun stuff before I assemble it all together. And I'm going to print on some of the pages as well. I've got some, if you notice right at the beginning of this video when I was pulling out pages, there was some French script which I'm going to print onto one of the pages or across one of the pages to include that into my journal as well. So I want to do all those things, and then I will begin actually sewing them in. So you've just seen how the book is going to come together. I'm really excited actually to see how it comes together because I think it's going to look really good. As I said, I've not done this before, I've just got an idea in mind, and that tends to be what I go with. I tend to just wing it. I generally don't make any sort of plans. I sort of put it together, make it as I go along. Oh, there's my iPad, my smashed screen. Oh, that was stressful. I felt sick when I did that, but anyway, the screen smashed. I need to take it and have it fixed. Absolutely gutted. So yeah, the signatures are going to sit here like this. That will be my anchor for the pages. So I will sandwich the A4 sheet between this and the book, so you can see here. So it just gives it that nice sort of sleek white background, and then the doily will just sit loose, and that's what the inside of each cover will look like. So if you're excited as I am to see it come together, please stay tuned, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!